Please welcome to the stream, John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, and Daniela Pineda. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
What's up?
How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
How excited are all of you for the premiere of the show tonight?
Feels like it's never going to come. I don't think it's processed. I don't think I've processed it yet.
It has to happen. I still, yeah. On the other side of it, I don't know how I feel.
But I wanted to start from the way top, way beginning, how each of you got involved and how each of you got cast and pinned down each of your roles. I guess, John, we could start with you if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with Cowboy Bebop originally. It was until I was offered the role. And then I read our episode 1 script first and was like, what is this? This is fascinating. And then watched the anime and then saw the world that we might be trying to replicate. And it was, I just remember being so thrilled at just a number of things that the show was doing, pulling from so many genres. It just seemed to be lifting a lot of stones at once. It was really cool.
Yeah. Daniela, what about you?
Well, it came to me like a lot of projects do in the form of an email from agents. I had known what Cowboy Bebop was because I'd heard of it, but it was like, one of those movies that you know of, but you hadn't seen. Like I knew it existed, but I wasn't familiar with it. And I didn't realize what a big deal it was until I went to go tape my audition. And the woman who worked the front desk of the place where I taped my auditions, she fully freaked out and had a meltdown, and I was like, whoa. And then I realized that I kept getting that reaction when I would bring it up to people. So it was very apparent very quickly, this is a very, very big deal to a lot of fans.
Yeah.
Mine was much like Daniela's. I got the email and I was like, I had seen Cowboy Bebop some years ago, back early 2000s. And so I was like, do they know what I look like? They were like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, I love this. So here we go. Rest is history, a few jumps across the pond and we made something wonderful, I think.
Wow. What was experiencing the show like for the first time when you started to really dive into the anime itself?
I think the thing that continued to surprise me and to this day is the music, Yoko Kanno's music. And I just think that she's so idiosyncratic, so original, and her choices are just counter to most choices that a music supervisor would make. And to the extent that I just think she kind of defines what the scenes are from moment to moment, because you're watching one thing, but you're hearing the meaning, the real meaning through her music. And so I'm really thrilled that she agreed to work with our live action adaptation. I think it's probably our greatest coup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really struck by how incredibly cinematic the cartoon was. I mean, the traveling shots, the wide shots, the shot of the ship landing in the water. I mean, there were just certain things that I was like, wow, it seems like a not only someone who obviously, loves anime, but someone who loves film and is versed in film, and then translated that into an animation, which was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Were any of you also, when you signed on to do the remake, did you have any ideas around live action anime, any of the connotations that have been around that? Because I feel like a lot of them haven't been too well received.
Fortunately, I wasn't really aware of the reviews of Death Note and the other ones that got some got shat on a bit. But I don't think I think it would have maybe asked more questions, but I probably would have done it anyway. Just cause, yeah, that happened, but not with me. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you got to.
She's a
like
cheater,
that.
but not with me.
Right, exactly. Not with me. Yeah, a little bit of delusion is good.
A job is a job. So if a great, grand, wonderful job comes my way, I'm going to take it. I think the only time I'll decline anything is if someone asks me to be in one of those like celebrity montage videos where they all get together and you know the ones I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time
I don't.
What is that?
When they have they get a bunch of celebrities together to sing the Imagine song or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like if we all kind of broke out into We Are the World right now, that would kind of be like that.
Oh,
that's the only time I might be like, I might sit that one out.
I got a lunch date. Yeah.
I hope that you, Daniela, specifically get offers for that a lot.
I guess I was aware a little bit of, not deeply, but I was aware of some of the politics of casting, and it's hard to avoid that news around other anime adaptations. And but I, with the asking of me first was, I was like, oh, that's a good sign. Because I know I'm Asian. Having said that, I don't even know, if there was any, I don't know what race anyone is supposed to be in the anime anyway, but I was encouraged by the fact that this vision of the future was definitely going to be multi-ethnic, multiracial, multicultural. So that was a cool sign. And yeah, I don't know whether I like to operate on that level where I let the obstacles talk me out. I'm more thinking if we pull this off, this is going to be excellent.
Exactly right.
What really jumped out to you about the script? And if you kind of had watched a little bit of the anime up to that point, where did you think it differentiated for you?
A lot of the stuff that I would say was more visual, and I think I saw it and it dawned on me after the fact, but not so much reading it. What stood out for me most was the language. I loved how they were really playing with language, and that there was a particular jargon that was for this world, and I was super excited about just playing with that myself and with my castmates. So that really stood out to me.
For me, the backstory with Vicious and Julia, even more than Vicious, maybe Julia, was the departure for us from the anime. And personally, I was really into it, and I guess I look at it from the vantage point of an actor, because Julia in the anime is an abstraction, like a memory that keeps popping up, and the hints of her past are suggested, and we got to explicate that more in these scripts, and that was fascinating to me.
Have you kind of developed a relationship with the fandom for the anime? I feel like you've probably been getting inundated with messages or tweets or whatever from people being like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is exciting. You look exactly like this person or what I envisioned. Have you developed a relationship with the fandom at all?
Oh yeah, I certainly have. I mean, anytime I go on Instagram, which is at not Daniela Pineda, if I look at my feed, my DMs, my anything, it's literally just, I see the word Faye Valentine everywhere and all the DMs. And I have to say, I've gotten some really, really lovely, really supportive messages from people all over the world. I mean, everywhere.
Yeah, I think the most striking moment is I was downtown going into a store. I had my mask on and everything, and I walked past the security guard. When I came back, he was like, "I just want to say you're Jet Black, right?" I was like, I had on. I got looked so far from Jet Black. It was kind of scary, actually. I was.
You weren't wearing a jumpsuit at the time?
Yeah.
Say it again.
You weren't wearing a jumpsuit at the time and knee pads?
Yeah, you forgot to
I
take
wasn't
off
even
your,
wearing a jumpsuit and knee pads.
You had your
It was
robot on
insane.
at the time.
I did have the robot arm. That might have given something away, huh? I didn't think of that. No. But yeah, I think that was the most stark moment for me. I was like, that's just okay. So somebody is really paying attention.
From what I've seen, it's been really supportive, and I think people are just like, please be careful with our extremely beautiful vase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's been great. But I gotta say, I've been feeling. At the premiere, Yoko Kanno came, which was awesome, and she saw me and goes, "Spike," and I was like, "Okay, good. All right, we did it." She called me Spike. I'm good.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's a moment. She totally is the Pope of bebop.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, my son.
Yeah, that was a total christening.
What was being on the Bebop like? Because, you know, it's very different from your conventional spaceship because it's a bit dilapidated, right? It's a bit like crappy, but like charmingly crappy, but it's also a spaceship, right? How was stepping into that set and that environment for all of you?
I will say the Bebop is one of the most spectacular sets I've ever been on. And it was similar to kind of coming onto the Enterprise for the first time. It was like entering a beautiful cathedral, you know, and it was both familiar and new, which is a crazy feeling. And then as we went around, I remember that first day they had, I think it was Charlie Parker was playing on the turntable, and the details were just everywhere. It was like dimly lit. There was a copy of On the Road by Jack Kerouac by my chair. You know, there were Post-its in the galley, and it was an actor's dream, a lazy actor like mine, to not have to imagine too much. It was just all in front of you, and you're like, oh, okay, I think we can do this. If we're here, we can do this. You know, it was a beautiful moment.
They made it really easy for us. I mean, the little switches and buttons, they actually activated and lit things up. So it was like it really, sitting down in the captain's chair for the first time felt like one of those times where you had like, you know, when you're a kid on Christmas and they give you those little trucks or whatever, but it's just like the biggest, best toy ever with all the bells and whistles. It's the best way. But yeah, definitely making it so much easier to act. And,
I will say also as a theatrical space, if it was like a stage set, it would be amazing, because if you think about all the little areas, because it was really grand, right? This big open space, if you wanted to play the whole thing, you can. But then there are all these like little areas within the areas where you can set scenes and great backdrops, where you want more intimate things going on. It was just like a really thoughtfully designed set. So it was a great way it's great to have that as a home base, you know?
Yeah.
For sure. They took 3 months to build it. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my
3
God.
months, yeah.
It that makes a lot of sense. It is very intricate, and I feel like it's very well put together, and everything kind of looks. It looks like everything's in its wrong place, if that makes any sense.
It makes all the sense.
Some might say that about us, with the wrong people.
All right. Or about life, period.
Do each of you kind of have a scene that stood out to you as one of your favorites, possibly off the top of your head?
You know, I think for me, I mean, there's scenes that were just like super fun because me, John, and Moo, I don't know what we would probably be goofing on. So like there's scenes that were fun just because we were like, you know, having a good time in between. But I think it's something like iconic or something that was like, wow, I really am in this show was, you know, Faye finding the video from her childhood, a message to herself. I think that was really that was a really, really big day. Yeah. And I remember, I actually think I felt it was one of the easiest to shoot and also one of the hardest, just because I knew how special it was. And that was definitely like a favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, going back, I like the scene when I'm trying to convince John to go on the bounty for,
Asimov.
What's his name? Huh?
Asimov?
Asimov, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that scene between us. It's like the levels, the stops, the tension and release. There's so many like nice little points there. I enjoy it as an audience member.
There are, oh boy, there's a bunch of answers. I'll just give one that I haven't said before, which is in episode 6. There's a shot. I just always wanted to do. It's always really fun to do a long Steadicam shot, and there's one where I come out of this building and we have all these extras, and I remember it involved like 30 cues of you cross here, you drop the coffee here, then off of that cue, turn around, and ends up in a kiss. And I just remember, like, we did it. I did it wasn't quite as long as the Copa shot in Goodfellas, but it was substantial. And I just remember being stoked that we got it.
And given that, all 3 of your characters already exist and are so beloved out there and have been IP for quite a while, was there just some extra pressure on you as individuals to try to make them your own? Yeah,
listen, you're going to feel pressure I think I'd be stupid if I didn't feel pressure. Like this is important to people and it's beloved. And like I said before, you want to handle that vase carefully if you're the mover, you feel some sense of responsibility. But I've been saying we felt responsibility as artists to be free and to have fun and make it our own. And I think that was definitely communicated to us, you know what I mean? That we were going to have that freedom to move within the boundaries. So, it was definitely a balance. You wanted the character to be recognizable as Spike or Jet or Faye, but you want to bring your own thing to it, or otherwise, what are we doing?
I think, kind of going off what John said, like if I show up here and I'm trying to do Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood, what's the point? Why am I here? Like, I'm supposed to be portraying Faye Valentine. It's a very specific thing. And so it was important to get like the blueprint of the character, but also I was hired, so it's my interpretation of that character. And also, like, if we were to perform like the anime, you'd have to like stay in a face for like a long shot. I mean, there's just some things in live action you just have to make more human, and you have to make more organic and real. So it's a healthy balance of like honoring what was in the anime and also, what's my artistic interpretation of that character.
I think I'm stupid enough not to feel pressure. I just, it's like, oh, what? Oh, yeah.
It's either that or you're genius enough.
Right.
But nothing in the middle.
It's a fine line. And I can vouch for myself. I straddle it. But yeah, I mean, just an honor ultimately. And I think that honor built as Danny's been saying, when you see just how important it is to people, it's like, wow, each moment where someone like lets you in on their fandom, it's like fuel, So I got quite a bit of that, and that was amazing for the process.
Talking about getting into character, did you gain a little more confidence in the character when you were able to get into costume too? Yeah,
you definitely feel more in the pocket for sure. It shocks you. You're like, I don't know about everybody else, but like, you go into all these steps, and then when you finally put the whole thing on and you like step over when it's all polished, I was like, oh snap, like this, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's a weird out of body moment where you're like, this is Jet Black right here. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think our show and the production just, if you're in a costume and you're on the Bebop on that set, I mean, it's pretty hard not to get sort of lost in your temporary reality. So it was super easy.
The costume is definitely makes you feel a certain way and move a certain way. And I always say it's like a mixture of Spike's suit looks like a gangster, half second keyboardist for Duran Duran. So there's a little flair, a little business, you know what I mean? And it makes you, and I will say also the costumes are made with a lot of unbelievable detail. And if you care to look, there's Easter eggs on all our costumes, and we knew about them. So like just knowing about them, even if other people don't, you felt a certain way about it, putting it on. And it's nice to look in the mirror before you leave the trailer and go, oh, that looks like Spike.
Right. Hey, I know that
guy. Since the show is a rework of an anime, right? You're in the same costumes for a lot of the show. And how is that just generally? Do you have a few copies of the same costume, considering, because when you're on a TV show, you probably just have a bunch of different shirts you wear every day. But on this one, you just have the one most of the time.
Mustafa loves his costume, and he would wear it on like Saturdays and Sundays and days that we weren't shooting.
I thought no one would see me, you know.
Now, Moo got caught with the onesie, which makes things a bit tricky. Moo, you definitely had the most intricate costume of all of us.
Yeah, it's very involved. It requires people to give me a hand. Yeah, it's pretty full on, but I love it. I love Jeff. Yeah.
I think there's a shot of Spike's. I'm not sure if it made it in the cut, but we did a thing where, first of all, we had lots of versions of our costumes, you know, for stunts or, so we had a rack. It just was the same suit. I had the same suit and multiples all over the place. But our joke was that, you know, if you've seen The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, he opens up his closet and he's got the same jacket, pants, shirt, for one for each day of the week. And I thought that'd be fun to play that for Spike. And he opens up his closet and he's got 5 copies of that blue suit. And it's the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday version. For some reason that pleases me.
He's like, what to wear today? What should I do?
Yeah. He opens it and looks for a long time. Puts the hanger up, and then the other hanger up.
They're different suits, man.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to get all of your opinions on working with probably one of the most high-profile members of the cast, Ein the Corgi. What was it like working with the dog on set?
Danny?
Everyone's like
such a diva. Yeah.
Yeah, the dog was a diva. The dog almost didn't know it was on a show. Wow. The dog was just like, I'm with a group of people, and occasionally this one woman gives me treats, and some people are yelling at me, I just want treats. I think that's really what it came down to. As we've said in other interviews, it was the dog's first job. Both of them, Harry and Charlie. And very adorable, very, very heavy, very not into keeping the fur in the skin. The fur likes to leave the skin and go on everyone's costume. And very, I don't know, the cuteness. There's just, it's like when you want to like strangle something, but it's just so freaking adorable.
I know that feeling.
You're so cute.
Oh, you're so cute. I want to kill you. Yeah, it's so odd. It's so odd. Love hurts.
The dog's the star of the show. What can I say?
Wow.
Dog is
when an animal gets on set, you realize who the star is.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got big booty too.
Best kibble in my trailer right now. Yeah. What do you think are the themes in this show that you related to most, or the themes that you thought I can see myself in this character with?
I think the whole show, in a way, is about, trying to forget or trying to remember. So it's dealing with memories, and that's very resonant with me. Not for any particular reason, but it speaks to me. And I guess there are people who would think that all of life is lived so that you can remember it. And, that's the purpose of living. Sorry. But,
we can go down that rabbit hole.
Deep. Let's go deep.
But that to me is Spike's journey for sure, and I definitely felt a resonance there.
I see myself in everybody in all of it. Quite honestly, you know, whether it's fatherhood with Jet, you know, I've got some daughters. Spike's situation I empathize with because I've got the whole Harlem to Hollywood story. Which is, you know, it's in the same realm, you know, not exact, you know, and, you know, then Daniela, it's like on my dad's side, there's like, you know, there's lots of questions. So like a whole life that I'm not connected to. So I understand what it feels like to have that sense of an emptiness and wanting to fill it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can relate. I can relate to everyone.
Yeah, I think another big component is, you know, the idea of reinvention, and that just because wherever you came from, whatever bullshit that you went through to get to where you are now, you know, yes, you'll always be the same person, but you don't have to be the same person. You can reinvent yourself. You can lean into, you know, whatever feels like the real you. I mean, you know, I can speak from experience, like where I am now, I never would have thought, and I'm not the same person. And I have grown something, you know, more into myself, you know, than, you know, whatever I thought who I was years ago. So I think that's another theme of the show that I think is relatable.
Well, everybody, I wanted to thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been so fun talking to you, and just congratulations on the series.
Thank you.
Premiering tonight for everybody watching. But thank you for being here. Wonderful job. You all did incredibly.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. That was fun.
Thank you.